In this video, we're going to look at the types of regions in GarageBand. When music is recorded in GarageBand, it goes into tracks, but each track can have multiple regions. Let's set up a project, an empty project, and right now the default track is a MIDI track. That means that we're going to use a controller like this, and when I press the key, it triggers a virtual instrument in GarageBand. The virtual instrument right now is the Vintage Electric Piano category, Classic Electric Piano. So if I hit record and play my keyboard, what I played is then recorded as performance data, but we really need this virtual instrument to actually execute that performance data. So over here we just have basically instructions. That's what MIDI is. And then over here we actually have, in the guts of GarageBand, there are instructions for realizing waveforms for different sounds. And in this case, it's an electric piano. What I was playing, by the way, was a groove from the 1963 composition by Tito Puente, Oye Como Va, made famous in 1970 by Carlos Santana, the guitarist. So let's go ahead and do another type of region. So this green bubble here that I can move around, I can drag it, that is the region. If I click on a region, I can open up the edit window. I can also open up the edit window with the scissors over here. And editing MIDI data is great. If you played a wrong note, you can change the note. Or if you played the wrong length, you can lengthen the note. You can even click on the note and change how hard you pressed it. That's what velocity is over here. So there's a lot of cool things you can do in the edit window, but this video is about regions, so we're not going to get too much into that. But the region is the bubble, and the green region is MIDI data or performance data, which needs a virtual instrument to play it. Okay, next I'm going to import a different kind of region. We're going to go into my iTunes playlist, find Oye Como Va, the original recording by Carlos Santana. There it is. And I'm going to drag and drop that into another track. Now notice that this region is a different color. Audio that is imported into GarageBand but was prepared outside of GarageBand will have this sort of brown color. Let me mute the MIDI track so you can hear. Okay, so we're playing previously recorded music. All right. Now, there's other types of tracks. I want to use the plus button here and set up a microphone track. Now, we're going to notice what color the audio is when I record it using, this is a Snowball USB microphone, but any microphone that you record into GarageBand, let's see what color that region is. So let's create a track, okay, and I'm going to drag the track down here so it's below my imported. All right, this is the monitor button. I can turn monitoring off or turn monitoring on. But I'm finding that the VU meter is popping a little bit. It may be a little loud. So I'm going to go into my smart controls and the inspector and turn down. There we go. So now I can speak a little bit more freely and it won't distort. Okay, so that is a microphone track, and let's go ahead and I'm going to turn these way down. But let's have that play while I record. So I'm recording on this track here, Audio 2, which is a microphone track, and let's see what color the region looks like. We don't need a metronome for this. Okay. The year was 1963. The jazz artist Tito Puente. The composition Oye Como Va. All right, so notice that as I spoke, and you can hear me, I'll play it back. The year was 1963. The jazz artist. Okay, so as I recorded into GarageBand an audio track with a microphone, that region is blue. So the three colors we have are MIDI, imported audio that was prepared outside of GarageBand, and audio recorded into GarageBand with a microphone. Let's do another track. Now, I do not have a guitar with me, but GarageBand does have this really cool guitar or bass track. If you had some kind of an interface set up, an audio interface, and you plugged in this kind of cable, a guitar cable. If you would plug a guitar cable into GarageBand, you could record a guitar. But I'm going to actually full GarageBand. I'm going to create a guitar track just to show you what guitars look like. I'm going to create a guitar track here, and I'm going to use, though, the Snowball mic. Just look down here at the inspector. You can see that even though it is a guitar track, if I have no input, right, the VU meter is not popping at all. But if I say I'm going to use the Snowball microphone, it'll think that a guitar signal is coming into the system. And so I'm going to use that so that you can see what color the guitar region is, even though obviously I'm not a guitar. Notice that when you have a guitar, though, you can choose various amplifiers and effects. That's what's showing up down here in the smart controls. So, for instance, if I wanted to have a distorted guitar, I would choose something like that. Not sure I like that, but or say experimental guitar. Let's choose most guitar, and that makes me sound, I guess, like a mosquito. Here's condensator, cascade, blue wave, spring theory. So the idea is that you would use these guitar settings with an actual guitar, and as you play your guitar, you're going to notice it's like various different amplifiers or various different stomp pedals. In fact, there is even a way that you can see a visual emulation of the amp that you've chosen by clicking this button over here on the right. So lots of really cool stuff to explore. But I'm going to go back to, let's go back to Clean Studio Stack, or what's Chicken Pickens? All right, I'll use Chicken Pickens as I record my guitar track. So let me just close that. And I do want to hear my MIDI piano. But I don't want to hear that or my audio. Okay, so I'm just going to improvise a bass line along with this MIDI. So here we go, and I do want to count off for this. Dum 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 dum. Okay, so now what I've recorded, let's see what it sounds like. Go solo the track. Really out of tune. But the whole point of this was to show you that when you record with a guitar, you'll notice that your region is yet another color. So we had blue. I'm sorry, we had green for the MIDI track. We had brown for audio imported into GarageBand. We had blue for a audio recorded with a microphone, and then purple for guitar track. One more color. We're going to add GarageBand's virtual drummer. It's just simply called drummer. But when you add a drummer track, it's yet another color. It's sort of a mustard yellow. The settings for the drummer are down here, which are fun to explore. You can change drummers and styles and things like that. But I'm going to close the edit window so you can see that we have this drummer track down here. Let me have my bass line, my drummer track, and my MIDI play together. Anyway, the tempo that the drummer's playing is the tempo that's up here. I don't know that I was playing in tempo when I recorded, and that's why it doesn't sync. There is one more aspect to these region colors, and that is when you're using loops. I just want to drag a few loops into this project. If I drag a loop that is green in, you'll notice, just going to drag it over here. Oops, sorry. Drag it into our project. You'll notice that it is it's a MIDI loop, and it's also a MIDI loop, so it's green. But if I want to drag in a audio loop, the audio loop will be blue. So it matches the color of the microphone recording. So loops are green or blue, whether they're MIDI or whether they're audio. Green loops are MIDI, so they can be edited. Right? We can change the length and the pitch assignment. Whereas blue loops, they can be somewhat edited. We could cut out with our cursor. We could actually edit out, part of the waveform, but we can't actually change notes and timing. Although there is some things with flex time in GarageBand that you can.